Hi everybody, it's Diemer again, and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we are going to have a big burger salad. So I thought I would showcase some of the EPICURE spices and products that I'm using to make that. Have to be honest, if I was craving a fast food drive-through, there would be golden arches involved, and there's a good chance there would be a double burger bun that had a very special sauce. So I'm going to show you how you can replicate those flavors in a much healthier fashion. So to start with, we're going to cook our ground beef. You've probably heard me talk many times about our steamers. I was not one of those people that was comfortable cooking meat in the microwave. I have not cooked ground beef in a frying pan on the stove since I started doing it in the steamer. This is my favorite. It is the multi-purpose steamer. And when you're steaming foods, it keeps the flavors and the juices inside, so you don't lose any of those nutrients. The multi-purpose steamer also has a removable insert. Now, why would you want this? Anytime you're doing veggies and meat at the same time, you want to do a meatloaf and make sure all the juices drain out. People use this I've used this to put over top of rice, cook microwave rice, and it doesn't boil all over the place. All of our steamers are going to go in your microwave. They're going to go in your oven. Every recipe we have with regards to meats and things you would use your steamer for, they tell you how to do it in both places, so whatever your comfort level is. The multi-purpose steamer sells for somewhere around $60, and this one is the one I reach for first. It happens to be in our starter kit if people are interested in starting the business. The multi-purpose steamer is part of what you get with your kit. So let's get started. I'm going to cook the ground beef in my multi-purpose steamer. I am not going to use the insert tonight. So all we have, if you were to make the EPICURE Big Burger, you would use a pound of ground beef, which is what I'm putting in the steamer right now, 2 tablespoons of the burger seasoning, and if you were making patties, you would also put some ketchup in there as well as a binding agent so that you can make them into patties. We're going to use the ground beef loose tonight, so I'm just looking for my meat separator. So we will not be putting the extra ketchup into the meat. So this is our EPICURE meat separator. Has 3 prongs on it. When you're cooking ground beef, if you're still cooking ground beef on the stove, you will love this. It breaks it up for you without going at it with a flat wooden spatula 1,000 times. Perfect. So I like the fact that it only has 3 prongs on it because the meat's not going to get stuck. The raw meat doesn't get stuck in there when you're done using it. So to flavor our meat, I'm going to use the EPICURE burger seasoning. I'm also using my 4-in-1 measuring spoon. 4 in one spot, goes in the dishwasher, has a spot for a tablespoon, a teaspoon. If you flip it over, there's a spot for a 1/2 teaspoon and a line for a 1/4 teaspoon, and the ends are narrow enough to fit inside our jars. So it calls for a couple of tablespoons of the burger seasoning. I'm just gonna sprinkle that on there. And because you are watching Diemer, of course I'm going to put something on there that isn't in a recipe. It's SPG. SPG is a salt, pepper, and garlic blend, and I love it in our burgers. So I'm putting that in there even though it's not in the recipe. And I love this blend because it perks up whatever you're cooking. See how carefully I measure that? It perks up what you're cooking without slamming it with a ton of salt, right? So I am just going to use my hands here to mix that up real quickly. And that's all there is to it. Like I said, you would put a bit of ketchup in there if you were wanting to make patties out of it. But we're not doing patties tonight. We're simply flavoring the ground beef that's going to go on top of our big burger salad. That's it. So I am just going to use this separator just to separate out again now that I have all of the spices evenly distributed in the meat. And I'm going to cook this ground beef in the steamer with the lid on for I'm going to check it at 4 minutes. It's usually between 4 and 5 minutes. In and out, super fast. This is when you want a quick dinner. This row here is the steam vents holes that they have on the top of all of our steamers. Just means that it releases a tiny bit of steam so the lid doesn't come off in the microwave. 4 minutes. So that's off and running. Now, we all know on a big Malcolm burger, there is a special sauce, and I'm going to show you how to make a wonderful special sauce. And it's called our Big Burger Sauce. Now, if you were to make this sauce to go on a burger, you would make it up with 2 tablespoons with, let's do this in order. Calls for a cup of mayo. Just get a bit of a spatula here. Calls for a cup of mayo. You can use any mayo you like. You could use Miracle Whip if you wanted. It would have a slightly different taste to it. We tend to use Hellmann's half the fat mayo, but this makes a fair amount. But I've run out in my fridge, so that's good. Good to restock. A cup of mayo, 2 tablespoons of the Big Burger Sauce mix. Look at that. I just opened this jar. Look how full that is. So, I mean, it's super full. So there's a tablespoon. There's 2 tablespoons of the mix. I'm just going to use a whisk now. If you were to make the sauce, you would make it up to the same point I'm making it right now, and it would be thick. I will put 2 tablespoons of ketchup in. I was so sure I had enough. Look at that. 2 tablespoons of ketchup, and I'll just grab another 4 in 1. I have 2 or 3 of these on the go all the time. And a tablespoon of sweet relish. Excuse me. That's what's in your Big Burger Sauce. I'm making this now so that it has a few minutes to hydrate the spices. Now this Big Burger Sauce mix can also be put on potato salad. It can be used to make your homemade Thousand Island dressing. If you've ever made that and you realize how much stuff's in there, you'll realize how much easier it is with this. That is the Big Burger Sauce. If you were having burgers and you wanted to serve this special sauce with it, this is where you would stop. Now, I'm going to have this. I'm making up a salad, the equivalent of the burger that I crave, only with a salad, and I am going to use the Big Burger Sauce thinned down with a bit of milk to make it a salad dressing. So, what did I do with that? I'm going to use that. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put some of this, because I want to keep this salad, this dressing, the Big Burger Sauce, in my fridge for burgers that we're having later this week. I'm going to put some milk in there. And I'm going to thin it down just a little bit so that we can have a Big Burger dressing. Okay? Just like that. If I had all my stuff out, I would have had a bit of a larger bowl here so that I could play with it, but it's all good. That's 4 minutes on the meat. I'm going to thin that down a little more if there's enough room in the 1 cup prep bowl. You'll have noticed that I used the 1 cup prep bowl again. I'm licking my finger. Yes, that's a 1 cup prep bowl. Comes with a silicone lid, and I use them a lot for bits of sauces and things in the fridge where I've got a nice lid on it, and I use it for leftovers in the fridge. So that's ready to go. And the meat sounds like it's complaining. tell people when they're putting the lid on to make sure that the vents are pointed away from you so that when you release it, you don't get a burst of steam in your face, which would be like that. I am just going to break it up with my ground meat separator again. Wow. That ground beef is cooked. So we had lean ground beef, and even though it was lean, there's still a lot of juices here. I'm going to show you another reason why you will love the multi-purpose pot. Because it's silicone, it's flexible, and you can pinch it together like this and drain off the grease from whatever you're cooking. Look at that. That was lean ground beef. Pinch it together. You get rid of all the grease. You keep the meat all in there. Now, depending on what you were using that meat for, now you're still talking same container you cooked it in, which is always aces in my book. So our ground meat is cooked. Look at that. It smells so good. And what I used for seasoning, again, was the burger seasoning, and I chose to put some SPG in there. So to put our salad together, let's make sure we have everything. We won't sing for you. We have the equivalent of a couple of all beef patties. We have our special EPICURE big burger sauce, which I will put on at the end. We have patties, sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles. I just sliced up some dill pickles, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and some sesame seeds for fun. Now I am going to, didn't really have this too well laid out for my demo tonight. Put on my ground beef. I love that it's not always about the bread, and I love my bread. But I'm not always as good about eating my vegetables as I should be, and something like this, I'm in. Look at that. So you've got your ground beef. I've thinned out the special sauce a little bit. And I'm just going to put that over top of my salad. I probably would have thinned it out just a little bit more had I had a little more room in this 1 cup bowl. These bowls come in a set of 4. Most of the people that have purchased a set have come back and purchased a second set. There you go. This is our big burger salad. This is my supper in about 3 minutes. So thank you very much for joining me. If any of these EPICURE products that I used today interest you or you'd like to restock, just drop me a line. Thank you.